My name is Stan, and you're watching The Wedding Checklist.
Hi, welcome to the Wedding Checklist. My name is Cynthia, and I'm your host for today. And oh my goodness, I have the most revered, the most sought after.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. DJ in the building today. Today, y'all, I have Ceasefire from Ceasefire Productions in the building. Welcome.
Appreciate
Cease.
it. You're welcome sounded like really welcome.
Welcome to the podcast, okay? Welcome, okay?
It's going down.
Listen, this is
going
my
down?
Congolese brother. Y'all
happening?
grew up in Rosice.
What's happening?
So excited to have him here.
Well, good to be here. Good to be in the building.
Is it really?
Yeah, it is. You know, we were getting stared at a few minutes ago. I was feeling like a star. You know, they walking through.
Because they saw the celebrity in here.
Y'all can't see what's going on. Where it's legit.
They saw a celebrity DJ, so they they wanted to see what was going on. But listen, real quick. All right, y'all. So we're gonna get right into it.
Yeah.
Before we start talking about some do's and some don'ts and some expectations and stuff from people who are seeking out your services, I want them to know a little bit about who you are and what you do. What has this journey been like for you?
Well, first, I got to give a shout out. What we do now is not just me. I got to give a shout out to the entire team at Ceasefire Productions because it's a unit that really helps make everything happen. So I got to do that.
Okay.
But I started DJing around 1999,
Woo!
2000.
Woo!
So, 'cause at some point, like it's a balance. It's like you want to share the experience, but at the same time, you don't want to sound like, hey, like, oh,
What?
you want what? I think my daddy was that age. Let me stop. But yeah, like 2099, I bought a set of turntables. Okay. I'm from Charlotte, so. We went to I gotta make this short, but we went to a friend's house. He had a pair of turntables, told me to hop on. He said, wow, you should consider it, because at that time I wanted to be a rapper.
Oh.
Like everybody else.
1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to be a rapper, and I thought by DJing I was gonna be able to get our music out better. Oh man! Okay. So I ended up going to the best HBCU in the country. I said it. I say it again. If you got problems, come see me. Winston-Salem State University. And my roommate, long story short, ended up being a club promoter. I mean, he was a club promoter. I don't know how he got in my dorm room because it was more of a freshman. That's a long story.
Okay.
The roommate that I had, he got homesick, left. I got another roommate. He's a party promoter, upperclassman. He's like, you DJ, you should start DJing parties. He helped put me on. He was African too. Al shout out to Al
okay.
Albert Cassell, living for the Lord now. But it started from there. I started DJing parties at Winston-Salem State University. Built a name for myself there. Then I ended up getting.
Hold on, wait. Don't say you built a name for yourself. Don't make it sound like it was just regular. Like we knew about you at A&T. Okay, go ahead. No, go ahead. He's being modest. But go ahead. Okay, built a name for yourself.
Yeah, built a name for myself. Went to go work for 102 Jams. I worked for 102 Jams in the Greensboro area for a few years. Mm-hmm. And then, long story short, I mean, I was just enjoying myself around that time. Just clubs, and then once you start working for 102, you start doing some concerts and stuff like that. And I would come back. I was my boy was Sporty Odie, and he had moved back to Charlotte, and we were helping each other out. My thing is to help him get his name out in that area once he moved back, and vice versa, and all that. So it was cool for a little while, and then I think and then I was doing the mixtapes and stuff like that, and then after a while, I guess deep down in the back of my head, I did not want to be, and no disrespect to anybody that's watching this, but I did not want to be that DJ that's like in his 60s still in the clubs. But that was on the inside. I never said anything. But I always had an entrepreneurial heart, and I just did not want to be that DJ. Long story short, around 2008-ish, went through some personal things that really rocked me. and it sent me on a personal journey with God. And I had literally stopped DJing for a few years, like stopped. Like it wasn't even, it was like gradual, and then all of a sudden people were like, what happened to Cease? And then from there I was just on a journey with God, trying to understand what he wanted me to do at that time and where my life was headed. Because I was, prior to that, like I was saying, I was going through a very tough personal situation. And just didn't, and then I had a young boy, a young son at the time, and just trying to, you know, I won't get too deep into how dark it was for me in that season, but just trying to figure out what is it that you want me to do, God, you know, as I started getting closer with him. And then I became a marketing director at a nonprofit, make a long story short, but I still had the yearning to DJ. And then every now and then I would bump into somebody and they would be like, Cease, like, what's up, where you been?
Yes.
And you know,
okay, yeah.
They wouldn't even, because at that, man, I won't even go there. But yeah, they be like, yo, where you been, man? Come on, man. And some people like, the streets missing you. What the next? And I'd be like, nah, man, I'm just trying to figure it out. The temptation was there. Man, long story short, I would say not even between, I would say God used Keisha. Keisha's my wife now. Started dating Keisha. And really missing DJing. And she came into the picture, and she would remind me of everything that I was doing in the past. Remember when da-da-da-da-da? And it was very refreshing. And then, you know, I was praying one particular morning in front of Harris Teeter, and I was like, Lord, I really miss DJing. And, you know, whether you believe God speaks or not, I do. And it was more so of yeah, you're going to go back to DJing, but it's going to look different. I didn't know what that meant. Got a phone call that night from a female that I used to work with that said, I know you quit DJing, but I'm having a wedding, and I want to know if you'll DJ my wedding. I was like, weddings? I done 1 or 2 weddings, but yeah, I'm DJing again. And that's what started me on the trajectory of Ceasefire Productions. Now, I will say Keisha was the one that, she bought me a pair of headphones, and she put it on my dresser. Now, full transparency, I was at a very low point in my life around this time. I was still living with my parents the whole nine. She put this dresser, I moved back in with my parents. She put these headphones on my dresser, and that was like the reminder. And then, long story short, we launched 2014. I launched Ceasefire Productions, and weddings just became awesome to me. Like, I didn't go back to the club, so that was what was different, because that's what I came out of. But I continued with weddings and so on and so forth. And it got to the point to where it was having to make a decision between weddings and my full-time job. And then Keisha and I lost a baby. And then it was like, you know what? Whatever I want to endeavor to do, I'd rather just launch out and do it. And, regret. I would rather do it and not regret not doing it, if that makes sense.
No, makes total sense.
Yeah. So went full-time with Ceasefire Productions. We brought on some more DJs and did more weddings and started doing corporate, and here we are. We do a lot of weddings. We do corporate, and we do small to medium-sized AV and event production as well. So, yeah, that was kind of...
So let me just say this. I'm going to tell you what I got from this whole story, just real quick. I'm just going to wrap up just this part, and then we're going to move forward.
Okay, yeah.
But I literally was listening to this story as if I didn't know any of it. You're a good storyteller, so I just wanted to say that. I felt like I was immersed in the story just now. Yeah. And what I really heard, though, is that a good woman... okay, I mean, this. I'm just telling you. I heard that a good
y'all
woman,
ladies, boy, y'all take y'all credit.
Jesus. I heard that a good woman will put you back on the right track, and I feel like having that right woman.
Yeah.
She puts you on the course for something great.
Yeah, she.
Like. Shout out to all the good women out here who hold your man down and make sure to find a way for him to marry the two things together, like the love for you DJing and the fact that it now provides for the life that you guys share together. You know what I mean? So shout out to Keisha. Shout out to Keisha.
I know she's taking it.
Right.
You can have your credit. Take it.
Shout out to Keisha. But I will say that I am probably one of those people who looked for you in your downtime and was missing your services. So a little story real quick that my cousin got married and Rosice was the wedding DJ.
Shout out to
So this is before you stopped DJ. So this might have been the one or two that you did do, right?
Yeah.
So my cousin got married, and Rosice came, and he did the wedding. And I'm talking about we partied from the time the music started to the time we got kicked out.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking like, yo, when we all get married, everybody's using Rosice.
Yeah.
And then my sister's wedding came up, and you were on your break time.
Yeah.
And I remember reaching out, and I thought,
no, what's crazy is that my mom did the same thing. Like, for those of y'all that don't know, I am Congolese. I think she mentioned that earlier.
Yes.
So it's much more of I don't want to say emphasis, but it was like even my mom was like, Laura's getting married. You know, DJ anymore. You know, it's like
we were trying to get you.
Oh my gosh! But I was in a different.
Yeah, you were in a different place.
I was in a different place,
and we all had to respect that. But I do know that we took a loss on that day.
Okay, come on, there had to be another DJ there.
Listen,
whoever
let's
was
get
there,
right
I'm
into
sorry.
it. Let's get right into it.
Let's not.
No, we're gonna get right into it. This is a good segue.
Okay, good segue.
So
Here we go.
reason we lost on that day is because my sister, who could not have you, decided they were at a club party one day, and they said, "Oh, this DJ's good. Let's use him." And let me tell you, I was still maybe, I don't even remember what year this was, but I want to say that I think I always understood that a wedding DJ is a wedding DJ. But I think I knew when she said, "This is the DJ that we want to use," and I knew something. I said, "Do not do it." I said, "Do not do this," because first of all, just because he can do a party doesn't mean he can do a wedding. Right?
100%.
And I don't know how much I really understood at the time, but I knew it, right? Because I'm already doing weddings, but not as heavy. When I tell you that I say a DJ all the time can make or break a wedding, and he broke that wedding. He broke it in pieces. It was bad.
Yeah.
It was very bad. From the being able to call it, the names, to read in the timeline, it was just like nothing went together.
Yeah.
And again, like this is a long time ago. So, but talk to me about what your thoughts are on. So when a person comes to you, so now we're going into a segue, guys. We're going to talk about when a person comes to you as a DJ, what should they really understand about why they're using someone who is well versed in weddings versus just a club DJ?
Yeah. Nah. Here, and I say this. I want to be mindful of how I say this. I'm going to be very truthful.
Okay.
When I share this,
stop playing. Pastor says stop playing.
Shout out to all the club DJs out there. I was once there, so I'm not talking from someone that's looking into a lot of people remember me in those days and have for this interview, and Terrence brought up a good point as far as there's not really, I would say, a wedding DJ per se. I would say more an events DJ that has great experience in doing weddings, more so. And there are DJs out there that only do weddings and so on and so forth, which is great. One of the reasons that make it, one of the things I had to learn when I was transitioning from a club DJ to a wedding DJ is the logistics. Logistics is equipment. So just on Instagram, I have put up wedding DJs are different from club DJs. That is true.
Yeah.
That is not a shot to club DJs.
It's not.
That's not a shot to wedding DJs.
Right.
That is the pure fact.
Right.
And one of the reasons why club DJs, matter of fact, it can apply vice versa.
Yeah.
You can't, like, if you're just doing weddings, don't think you about to just Saturday night hop in nightlife and just DJ at club such and such.
Right.
Especially depending on age and generation, because from what I've heard from some of my colleagues, like the clubs aren't the same like they used to be, you know, and the whole thing about people don't dance and stuff like that. But one of the things is that weddings, just because the weddings are for family, doesn't disqualify the logistics and the production element that a wedding has. And like I was saying on IG, I was saying that wedding DJs are very different from club DJs. Not saying that wedding DJs are better than club DJs.
No, it's not that.
But it's not the same. And one of the things are, one, the equipment. Club DJs don't have to bring sound to their event unless they have some mobile DJ element to what they're doing. And if you're a club DJ that has a residency in somewhere and you're used to just, some DJs may not be used to bringing any equipment. You just bring your mixer, everything is there. I mean, at least for when I was in the clubs, the CD the CDJs or the turntables are already there, or you bring your turntables and everything there. All the sound is straight. You can show up an hour before. You're playing to the same crowd. No real logistics except for if an artist shows up, you need to just be prepared for that. But that's pretty much it. The crowd is the same niche. When it comes to weddings, number one, your music range is very different. You're not a niche DJ at that point. You're more of a generalist because you need to be able to read the crowd according to age, who's in the room. And the thing about your sister's wedding, and one of the elements that probably made it a little more difficult for that particular DJ is that you had different cultures at play.
There you go.
So you got to be able to logistically plan for that before you come in. So everything from, I will say, as far as the DJs, as far as us as a company and the DJs we have on the team, everything from logistics to the type of equipment that we use to our conversations and the meetings that we have are what we do to kind of prepare for those logistics. Outside of the training that we provide to our DJs to make sure that they're prepared for the day, you have extra work on top of that. You're not going to have that as a club DJ just coming straight out. Right. Because when I was doing the clubs and when I did take those couple of weddings, I took them because they paid more than the clubs did. And at the same time, all I was thinking about was rocking the crowd.
That's it.
And they'll probably switch up when this episode comes out. But if you watch a club DJ that does do weddings, some of them, not all of them, they're highlighting the reception. They're highlighting how they get down, the party, so on and so forth. We do the same thing, but with the wedding, they did so much more than just the reception.
Right.
The party part of the reception is not as long as a set for the club. You have the ceremony, which is not fun for a lot of DJs there, but if you have experiences with weddings, you understand that ceremony sound, logistics, who's coming in, microphone quality, sound quality, videographer wants to come in and hook in. All that stuff is an element,
Let's pause for just 2 seconds here.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that, because what people do is when they hire a DJ, they don't even know that you have to do anything for the ceremony.
Oh, 100%.
They don't know that. That is the key
100%.
right there. That is one of the bigger reasons why a club DJ may not be your favorite choice, because he doesn't know that until now. The planner may have said something to him, so now he's trying to figure it out. But okay, I just wanted to say that so people remember, your DJ for your wedding is not just there for the party. He is there. We haven't even touched on the beginning part of the reception or cocktail hour and things like that. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
You brought up a good point. You're talking about introductions and club. I didn't know that there was an MC element to weddings.
Gotta be talking
when I was transitional. Man, I don't even remember the bride's name now because it was so long, but when I was a club DJ doing a wedding, it wasn't Priscilla, but when I was DJing that bride's wedding, I just want to apologize now. I did not know what I was doing. I did not at all, because I was in club mode.
Right.
Okay, the party, this is what I'm going to play. Cool. I did not think about microphones. I did not think about dinner time outside of what she may like or he may like, or digging a little bit, logistics, planner, what is expected of me, emceeing and introductions. Now, I will say this, you will have some DJs that do nightlife and weddings.
Right.
And they built up that experience, and that's cool.
Right.
That's fine. I just think it just depends on the bride as well, and their expectation of excellence is very different. It's just like with a photographer or videographer.
Right.
You have some brides that they want top notch. They want the medical field, for example. The surgeons that are in a particular niche or have great experience in that particular niche make the most money. You are not going to trust your family member that has an issue with, God forbid, their heart to a generalist. You're going to trust them, but you're going to want the best. I'll use my mom, for example. If something were to happen to my mom and they needed a specialist to operate on her pinky, and we knew there was a doctor of pinkies in South Charlotte, and that's all that they did, or majority of what they did, we're going to have more trust in that, because the experiences are there. Doesn't mean that the other doctors are whack.
Right.
It just means that that person knows the nuances of pinkies, just like weddings. There's certain nuances when it comes to family members, planners, photographers, being able to think on the fly whenever you're miking live musicians and stuff like that. You got to know a little more about live sound when you're doing weddings as well. Right. And even down to and I think I may have mentioned equipment already, but you got to know that even from a DJ perspective, let's back up a little bit. The word DJ, and I tell my clients this, is a misconception when it comes to the weddings. You're not hiring a DJ for your wedding. You're hiring a DJ for a party.
Right.
With a wedding, you're hiring, I would call it a wedding production specialist. Someone that's going to run sound, that's going to also MC your wedding, play music and read the crowd, also provide backup if things are running behind and play music and so on and so forth. Out of the basic description of a DJ, those are all outside of the scope.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the word DJ, that's what sometimes I don't like that word when it comes to DJ, because DJ also brings a natural assumption on pricing. We just need a DJ. We just need something simple.
Right. You're not thinking about the whole picture. And you're not just the DJ. You are bringing everything else, lights, sound.
Lights, yeah, 100%.
Mics.
It's a production element.
It's a production.
Yeah, 100%.
So again, if I'm choosing you, you cost more money, but you cost more money because you're bringing more stuff.
Not because we want to. There's a misconception out there is as soon as you say weddings, they charge more.
Right.
No.
There's more to do.
There's more to do, and there's greater risk with a wedding. We can't, and I tell my clients this on the call, we can't say, man, I'm sorry, the mic was just haywire. I played the wrong music. I played back that thing up while you was walking down the aisle.
Right.
Let's do it again next week.
You can't do it.
Nah, you can't do it again next week. So you're asking that person, in essence, like there's cameras all in this room. You know, they can stop. We can do this again. But when it comes to being live, and kudos to Terrence and the weddings we've done when he's live stream with us, when it comes to being live, we can't do that over.
No.
Like, you never really know how powerful the investment is in your wedding production specialist, i.e. your DJ, until something wrong happens.
Until something wrong happens.
You know? So
until you're there at the day. And then guess what? There's no go backs.
Nah, there's no go backs. There's no go backs at all. So
and that's why you have to, when they say you get what you pay for, this is the stuff we're talking about. The fact that you're even thinking ahead about the things that could go wrong. About the fact that you know the things that go wrong, that you are already setting up for just in case they do go wrong. But this is why they have to trust in people who do this thing. You know, we see this. We've seen the ups and the downs, the good and the bad. But again, when you talk about getting somebody who doesn't normally do weddings to do a wedding. And matter of fact, let's just say this. When I say the club DJ, I'm not getting on the club DJ, okay? Because again, like you said, it's vice versa. People who just only do weddings can probably not go into and just doing a club. Yeah. But that goes for photographers. That goes for makeup artists. That goes for 100%. All these different elements that are part of your wedding. You want to choose people who do this because of the fact that we know what we need to look for. We know the things that could happen, all right? You get a photographer who only does models.
Right. That's a good example.
You got a photographer who only does models and that's their thing, but then you choose to say, oh, you know what, that girl shot me so well, so I need to make her my wedding photographer. But then yet when it's time to do formal pictures, she don't know how to get nobody together. No. She doesn't know that I was supposed to command this or I direct this. She doesn't know about the timeline. Yeah. She doesn't know about what are the best angles from the front and the back of the aisle. All that good stuff. So it's not just DJing that you need to think about getting somebody who's into the field. It's just all the aspects of it. All right, so let's move on to tell me a little bit about something that you feel like, what's the number one thing you think people do wrong when they're looking for a DJ?
When we were talking initially, we could have talked about, I could have mentioned easily the whole submitting the music and whatever. But I think as far as the things that people, it's not, I can't say they're doing something wrong because they don't know. A lot of these couples are getting married for the first time. Right. I'm going to share a couple things. One thing is assuming that you're hiring a DJ. So it's not I'm just hiring a DJ. Sometimes I get the inquiries like, we don't need a lot. We just need a DJ to just play music. No, you do not.
No, you don't.
do not.
I said nobody's wedding.
Yeah.
Ever. Okay.
No, you're not just hiring the player music. You have a lot of audio components.
Right.
According to everything you add. Oh, we're thinking about adding a violinist and a stringist and my best friend. They're gonna sing.
Right.
But we just need someone to play music.
So where does the song come out of?
Yes, 100%, 100%.
What mic is she using?
And it's not. And one big misconception is that when your videographer says to you, and I'm gonna do an IG reel on this. When your videographer says to you, they have mics. They're not talking about for that day. That is for them in post-production when they go edit and make your video perfect. But that microphone that he has is nowhere connected to the DJ's microphone.
No.
That's a whole separate thing.
Like, oh, we already got mics.
Yeah,
Terrence bringing the mics for us. You good? You don't have to bring yours. Take those 100%. Off.
Yeah, see? So where's the sound coming out of? Who's monitoring and making sure, long story short, without getting too long with it, is that understanding the role that you and that person that you sit with should be able to say, it shouldn't just be, all right, send me your pricing, tell me what do y'all do? Do y'all provide lights and da-da-da-da-da? Just understanding that your wedding is a production. Just like this is where right here, some of your eyes that are watching this, you're not really understanding everything that's at play right now. You just see a set, you see this wall, but you really don't understand everything that's on the set.
They don't know what's happening over there.
No, they don't. They don't.
They don't.
And depending on their eye and depending on how they edit it, they may not even understand what's on the ground and this flower, all this.
All of it.
And that's pretty much my biggest thing is understanding that you're hiring more than a DJ. So don't come at it like that with that investment. There's a higher expectation when it comes to your wedding as far as equipment goes, when it comes to your wedding, especially when it comes to a day you're going to remember for the rest of your life.
And let me say something. So something that you said is very important. A lot of times, it doesn't matter what part of the wedding you're in, the biggest thing is everybody's always first thinking about cost.
Right.
They're always like, send me your price list and I'll go, and I'll pick from there. People have to take the time to have consultations. The consultation will help you understand the value of what you have. So if I don't sit and I talk to the DJ and say, all right, as a DJ, what is it that you're bringing to the table? Because what you say is not what the next person's going to say.
Yeah.
And the way you explain why you have to bring X, Y, Z, it helps them to understand. Because like you said, most of these people don't plan weddings. They haven't had a wedding. They don't know what goes behind the scenes. They don't know what they really need. It is our job to teach them or to tell them, this is what you need. You're saying, no, I just need you to, all I want you to do is play songs. But no, sir. So if all you need to do is play songs, so who's doing this? Who's doing that? Yeah. But the thing is, unless we do that or have these type of conversations, they don't understand that, right? They don't get that. So my biggest thing is have the consultation. Yeah. Talk to the person that you're going to hire and see if the money that you're talking about is going in the right places. Then you can understand, okay, got it. Yeah. That's why I'm not paying him $400.
Yeah. That could be over. Now, I'm going to play angel's advocate a little bit. Okay. I can see how that can be overwhelming for them because of how many people are reaching out, how many people they're reaching out to, and so on and so forth. But I do agree with you on at least having one so you understand what it is, especially if it's something that you haven't planned before. Sometimes I get couples where their parents are involved and they're involved and they just want to know pricing, which I don't think is going to change in our industry as far as just wanting to know pricing, because I think we're all in that like that in different industries. But I think it's important that because of the level of the investment that you're making, that you educate yourself a little bit on the expectation. My thing is where, like on our Instagram page, I try to educate and inform because that once again comes down to the society that we live in. Instant gratification. I need it now. I don't want to, it is what it is. So I think what you said that I agree with is having at least one consultation so you can understand. But then on the flip side, if you have a consultation with the wrong vendor, then now you don't have. And this is where I kind of go back from a DJ perspective. Because if you have that consultation with a club DJ that doesn't have a lot of experience for weddings, you're still going to be in the dark. Right. So.
Well, I can help you out with that. The better way to even do this?
Well, how do you do that?
Planner.
Correct.
Planner.
Correct.
And then a lot of the stuff you don't have to worry about. Not that you still don't have the consultation, but the planner can lead you in the right direction.
Depends on the planner too, though.
Okay, you're right. That
is very true. I'm not going to sit up here and just say,
you got to get a good planner.
Because, you know, when I get on IG, you know, the planners support, and I throw nice stuff about planners up, and everybody screams hurrah. But we both know, you know, in our industry that planners are different. Levels of excellence are different. Level of, you know, professionalism is different. Because our industry, you know, if you're watching this right now, it can be a lot of smoke and mirrors. Everybody hides behind the pictures and all that. But I think as industry professionals, we actually see who's doing what, who's not doing it, who is, you know, you want to stay away from and stuff like that. So.
We do. So ask around. Ask around. So get you a planner, but still ask around, and hopefully if you get a few people saying yes, then maybe this is a good planner or something like that. But okay. So now you've got that. So what is another one? You were going to say you had another one to say that you feel like people
the importance of the ceremony and not just being party. We like party, which is great, which is the default. I don't think there's enough emphasis on how important the ceremony is. Oh, the ceremony is only a few minutes. Right. Well, no, not technically. You have the pre-ceremony, which is 30 minutes, and then you have the ceremony. And the ceremony, I feel, is the most intimate and the most, like, that time where everybody can feel like a needle can drop. It's very, like, intimate, sentimental, you know, and that's where your sound and your audio has to be super clear from a audio DJ perspective. And I think just also, not saying that the reception is not important, but also valuing the importance of the ceremony. Even though it's shorter, a mistake at the ceremony will have everyone looking back like, what in the world is going on? You know, or the microphones and stuff like that. So for me, I really like to, and not even just for me, as far as our company, and I tell our team that the ceremony is important. That's why we're really big on the type of microphones we use. And, you know, the DJs on my team, they understand, like, the microphones that they have are at minimum $600 to $700 and up. Because we want to make sure that, like, couples don't think about that. Like, if you're in downtown Charlotte and you're working with a wireless mic unit and you buy a cheap one, it may work, it may not. And what I mean by that is, the more money that you spend on wireless microphones, the clearer your audio is going to be no matter where you're at. Now your mic worked on the south side of town, but now you're in the boonies and you're wondering why this mic that you bought is kind of going haywire and so on and so forth. That's because the more money you spend on microphones, the less competition, especially if you're in bigger cities like Atlanta, DC, and so on and so forth. So you want to make sure that you're paying attention to the ceremony as well, and having confidence when you spend that money on that company that you know that they're going to bring quality, not just in the party, but in the equipment that you use, the lighting that is being used as well, and that no matter where the wedding is at, you're confident. Because you got married in Maiden, North Carolina. Beautiful venue. It's kind of out in the boonies a little bit, but beautiful venue. And then you also had live music. That was not the time for microphones to be going haywire and music stuff to be dropping out.
I put you to work.
You know, I work.
I put you
to work. We have some special effects too. People pulling out. Well, we won't
beatboxing and everything. Go ahead. Okay,
that's true. But yeah, just that part about, you know, the ceremony is just as important.
Right. So, like you said, I know that you are a wedding DJ and you also do events. And you have a whole crew. Yeah. So you not only go out and DJ, you have other DJs that you send out as well. So people can hire other DJs through your company as well.
Correct.
Right. And so that's like a testament to who you are as a DJ. Like, you're growing a business here. Right. So even if I can't have you on that day, I can trust that you can send out a DJ that you have trained up. Right. Is that correct?
Well, no, I wouldn't even say train up. It's DJs that are aligned with our mission at Ceasefire Productions and may be a better fit for you. Because sometimes I am available, but I know I'm not like that DJ may be a better fit for you than I am.
Okay.
Or I know that team can provide an awesome experience for what you have going on better than I can.
Right.
So it's about fit and what I have going on. My number one objective for Ceasefire Productions is to make sure I'm available to make sure that I grow the company, and at the same time I can provide touches for everybody and support, if I'm not DJing and so on and so forth. But yeah, definitely. Like, we're all about, Ceasefire Productions is us all about distributing that joy and making sure that we're just creating memories for the people that we work with and serve. And that's from a wedding side or a corporate side. I don't want people to feel so like we have to have Cease, or to feel like, yeah, I want them to feel confident in the experience no matter who they have.
So I did hear you say team. So when you're DJing, you're coming out with how many people?
So typically, it depends on what the event needs. We have road crew people, we have event assistants, we have DJs, we have MCs, we have DJs and MCs that work as a combo. When I work, I'm typically working with an assistant. So you may see an assistant that works for our team, or you may see me with my wife, who is also an assistant that works for Ceasefire Productions. But if we have a lot of special effects or production elements at that wedding, we may add on more people in order to execute it. When you're talking about intelligent lighting or dancing on the clouds or TV monitors or something like that, it just all depends on what the event needs and what's happening.
So what I do know, okay, guys. So just so you know, Cease was my wedding photographer.
Wedding DJ.
Oh,
I don't shoot no pictures. A flicker.
Cease was my wedding DJ. I totally gave you a whole nother job. I just gave you a whole nother
took it though.
You took it. So Cease was my wedding DJ, and of course, we're Congolese, so you brought in both. Oh my God, we partied all night. Lord,
yeah,
geez,
that was
all night.
Epic.
It was
epic.
It was amazing.
Epic.
But Cease surprised me and Terrence. He gave us a gift of beatboxing.
That came out of nowhere.
It was the best thing ever. We was like, who is beatboxing? That was so great. But it worked. So I'm saying this to say, y'all. So Cease, you come from behind the booth a lot.
That's correct.
You're on the floor, and I see that. Like, even when when I'm shooting a wedding, and you're the DJ at these other weddings, because we've crossed paths a few times at weddings, and you come from behind the booth, and so I'm saying that to say that there are different types of DJs,
That's
right? So when you come, you're given that experience of getting immersed into the crowd, because I also see you giving them instructions. Hey, all right, pick up your napkins. We're doing this. Or you making sure that they're hyped before people come into the reception. That's important because, again, a wedding reception, now we're talking about the reception, we want everybody to be hyped.
100%.
So you're reading the room.
Right.
And you're making sure that you're getting everybody involved. Right. But that's not every DJ.
Yeah.
So talk to us a little bit about how that works out for you.
Yeah.
Why is that important?
And that's not every wedding either.
Okay.
Like, I felt like I know there's some bride out there that's like, oh, he is not beatboxing at my wedding. So this is what happened. Well, I won't go into what happened. So basically, it depends on the energy of the crowd.
What happened? The theme. It was my theme. It was the theme.
So I think every bridesmaid and groomsman, the pairs have their own song.
Yes, they did.
Like
and they were all
and I think
90s.
I think Priscilla was about to. They were singing along with BBD Poison, but I wanted to add an element that was different. So when I had the assistant cut the music off so they can keep singing, and I beatbox to it.
So you just came up with that like right on the spot.
Oh, right on the spot. But that was probably the only wedding that I've
done that.
Yeah,
so
maybe the first and second. I gotta ask Keisha. Nah, probably the only one, and probably another one with the couples from New York. Years ago, but yeah, I don't just do that because that might not be your cup of tea.
But that was amazing. Yeah, that was amazing. Okay, maybe not everybody's cup of tea, but I'm gonna tell you right now, that's amazing. Now you gonna get people to call you. Hey, can you do that at my wedding?
Yeah, don't ask me to beatbox at your wedding. Don't. That was just
It was amazing though. Yeah. But to say how you interact with the crowd, because I mean, I'm telling you, like, people still to this day will talk about that reception and what you did. Like, we replay that video a lot too. So, but talk to. Okay, so what is your process about you jumping in and your personality at a wedding? So
gotcha.
People can know.
So, and once again, going back to, like, this is more of each one of us at Ceasefire Productions have our own personality, but because our team is still small, we're still that high impact, high energy type of flow. So everyone has their own point on what they do, and then at some point, like one of our MCs, he started out rocking with me, but he was rocking in the clubs before he even got with me. Now, so as far as my process goes, like I said, it just depends on the event, the crowd, reading the crowd, because it's reading the crowd for the music, but there's also reading the crowd from an MC standpoint. Because you got to be very confident, because we come across from, like you were saying, there's nothing wrong with that. You got some DJ companies that are behind the booth and they do everything from the booth. And I think I want to shout out Keisha too. I think it was a wedding years ago. I just tried out coming in front and really hosting the wedding. And she was like, that's it. And it was different. And yes, there's other companies that do it. But I think being out in the crowd really, and being able to look at people really feel like it's an event. And like, wow, okay, we're here now. Like, welcome to such and such's wedding day. It's not coming because the booth is stationary. Sometimes the booth is in a great place. Sometimes the booth is not in a not so much in the best place. So I just thought that being in the center of it, you're really able to look at people in the eye and really smile. And the thing with coming from cocktail hour to the reception is that cocktail hour people are nibbling and talking. They don't know it, but the energy comes down a little bit because it's cocktail hour. It's loungy. It's like, hey, girl, I haven't seen you in a while. Da, 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 da. When you're coming into the reception and you want to make sure to set the energy, you want to like lift the energy up because they just came out of cocktail hour. You want to understand the psychology of people that go to weddings, that they're with you the entire day.
The whole day.
The whole day. And I'm not just talking about when they're in the building. You got to think that mentally, and please don't steal this, and if you do, give me my credit. But when they're with you psychologically, they've been with you that day and the day before. They thought about what time they were leaving, getting dressed, getting on the road, the whole nine. Their whole day has been consumed with heading to your wedding. So it's very important that you set up things around the wedding, and I went off to your question, but this is good for you to hear, that you set up things in your wedding to keep people engaged. For those of us that, I do this full time, but if you're out there watching this and you work a corporate job, when you have a corporate training, you need coffee, you need a 45-minute break, you need lunch, 3 o'clock you start checking out. That's not just with your job. That's with everything. Just because you're happy for this person doesn't negate the fact that you're leaving, and we're not talking about if you're traveling. We're talking about just local. You're leaving at 2. You've been trying to find your outfit, your wives, your girlfriends. Y'all know it take y'all a while to get together. You've been doing makeup, hair, getting dressed all morning to leave by the afternoon to make it to your friend's wedding, get to your friend's wedding, sit there, go to cocktail hour for an hour, sit there, go to this reception that's 3 to 4 hours, and kind of sit down, party. Man, it depends on when you want to leave. So it's important for the client to know that you got to set triggers to refresh people to make them feel like, okay. And that's not just entertainment. I think entertainment is one of the most important because they come into the reception and welcome to okay, we're here again. Like you forget that I've been here for 4 or 5 hours. You forget food is another one. Hiring a planner so your timeline goes smooth and people are not in the hot summer sun. Baking and hungry, and the timeline's behind and stuff like that. So and my stomach growling now, but but yeah, just without rambling too long, just
I think something that you said there is so again, I'm in the business photography, so I get to see a lot. So I know when we were planning my wedding, and we had a meeting, we're gonna talk about that, but we had a meeting, and one of my big things was when we were eating, I wanted you to play all 90s R&B. I said, because I knew it was a long day and you traveled far for my wedding because mine was out of the city. I wanted, when people were sitting there eating, I wanted them to also be singing. Looking at each other like, oh, that's Mary J. But I'm going down. I wanted it to be continuous, like, stimulation.
Correct.
I didn't want any jazz music only because I didn't want people to simmer that. Because like you said, it was one of the hottest days in October for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah. It was the hottest day, and I just really wanted, not that I knew that was going to happen, but still, I wanted to make sure that people were constantly being able to look at each other, party at the table without like it being too much partying.
Yeah.
But the singing along, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
So
Your wedding was an exception though, as far as like, I personally don't feel like anyone could have been bored at your wedding. There was constant stimulus.
Constant stimulation.
From some of the special effects to the decor. Like, you got to understand, I'm not just talking about entertainment here. I'm talking about the visual impact of walking into a room, like, whoa, which resets expectation for like what kind of night this is going to be.
Right.
You had great decor. Shout out to C-Lux. And if I missed you on, if you did, at Cynthia wedding, I ain't named you, I'm sorry. But
and the dancers.
The dancers. And you had a couple of them.
Yeah.
You had the dancers, then you had
the reintroducing.
The reintroducing,
the girls coming,
Yeah, it was just, man, we don't even have enough time to talk about multicultural weddings. That's his own thing as far as that goes. But you had constant triggers.
But because I'm in this business, I thought about that. See, me being in the business, I constantly see what is wrong or doesn't work at weddings.
Oh, yeah.
And I know I need people to stay. Let's go. So therefore, my wedding was going to have to be packed with a lot. Because I didn't want people walking out the door right after they ate because they were so bored. We weren't doing that at my wedding. So, So that's why I thought to put a lot of that stuff in there.
No, that was good. And even, I think Terrence even had, the garter toss. He was able to
surprised me with that one.
The garter removal. Yeah,
he
was able to make
that
that fun.
Yeah,
he was able to make that real fun. So,
but so let's go back to things that you want people to know.
Okay.
So right now we've hit on a good amount of stuff.
Okay.
Because we're coming to the end of this, and I want to make sure that you're telling everybody who's coming to check for you and your company, what is something else that people don't think about? And again, we've talked about a lot, so we might have hit everything that you want them to know that they should think about, do better, consider. What are you thinking?
I would say, gosh, it's so much. I'm going to just throw some out there and I'm going to dig in one. One, being real with yourself about your expectations and who really your family and friends are. Don't ask for don't expect a like full out concert type wedding if majority of your family and friends are introverts. It just you're setting your DJ up to fail and like, know who's going to be in the room. Just know who's going to be in the room and be real about that. Don't get so on Pinterest and Instagram and you see this wedding and you thought it was awesome and the energy was high and your guest list is not that at all, or vice versa. Like you want this calm, chill wedding, or I've had a lot of multicultural couples say, I'll say to them, are there any cultural pieces that we need to be aware of? Nah. Nothing. The Americanized ones that grew up here, but your parents were from another country.
Right.
Nah, nothing. No. And then you get to the wedding, and your uncle, your auntie is surrounding the DJ booth, forcing him to play this and da-da-da-da, because you weren't real with the fact that you're not from this country. They're going to be, and you have a lot of people on your side that came from out of town that's going to want to hear that. So that per se. And then the second one is aligning your expectations and making sure your venue matches that. Now that's one, because you want this full out party, but this venue right here is next to a residential area and they have a strict noise ordinance where even in the contract they have decibel restraints. But you want this full out party and you got 200 people coming.
Right.
So, I'm not talking about any particular, I'm just saying you want to ask those questions based upon what you want and make sure your venue matches kind of the expectations you have all across the board, not just entertainment, as far as decor and all that. What type of, I was interviewing last year, the venue, the ladies that I was interviewing were just saying, what is your style? And just making sure that matches along with your DJ as well. Because you could be setting yourself up to fail if you want a certain thing, but your venue may not flow with that.
Right.
So.
Right. Well, this is good. So listen, we talked about a lot of stuff, and I'm glad you were being very open.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't get you to say anything crazy. Trying to think of how can I get him to say something. No, I'm just joking. But it's always fun to talk to you, Rosice. I always want to say that You're a great DJ. Continue to do what you do. We're glad that you're back.
Yeah,
we're glad to have you back. And I didn't have to miss out on them. So.
Cue the sound effect.
Right. I didn't have to miss out. But yeah, so keep doing what you do. Again, y'all, what we've learned from Rosice today was basically set your expectations. You know what? I don't want to say set your expectations right, but just understand that the things that you want need to match up with the things that you're putting in place.
Correct.
Let's just say that. That's
board.
Across the board.
Budget, people you hire.
All of it.
All of it.
So, so we take that from Rosice. Make sure you check him out.
Oh, yeah.
Ceasefire Productions. His whole team. Check out his whole team.
Check out the whole team.
It may not be him. It may be one of his thousands of other DJs, but he got it for you. Lights, special effects, clouds, all that stuff. You can go to Ceasefire Productions for that. And thank you so much for checking out the wedding checklist.